Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to the AT&T Countdown to Kickoff. We're already at Week 7 of the MLS season. It really feels like it's going by quickly. Of course, Atlanta United's had a busy month of May. One final match this Saturday before they take a 3-week break for an international window. And it's going to be a tough match. We weren't really expecting, Jason, to be seeing Nashville in a top-of-table situation when we got the fixture sheet back in February, but that's what we've got right now. Nashville has not lost this year. They come in 4th in the East. Atlanta United is 5th. So after a really positive result in a very difficult environment over the weekend last week in Seattle, now Atlanta United's got to play another team that is very, very difficult to score on.
Yeah, at least you're getting some practice in dealing with top defensive teams in this league. Seattle hadn't given up a result at home before last weekend, and Nashville is on a 400-plus minute streak without conceding a goal. Two of the best defenses in the league back-to-back. That's a huge challenge for a team that is still figuring it out in the final third. And, you know, Gabriel Heinze said it. The players have said it. It's something that they are working on really hard. It's the hardest thing to do in this game is to score goals. And Atlanta's struggling in some of those moments, but they're also struggling to score goals against really good defensive teams. But in these last couple of matches against Montreal at home and then against Seattle, they have found ways to get results late. And it's one of those intrinsic kind of things that as you're building a team that you want to see a squad develop, that grit, that fight. You know, it's hard to quantify, but we've seen it firsthand. Back-to-back games for Atlanta United. They have not given up. They have fought for one another, and they've got 2 games in a row with good late results. And the one in Seattle is maybe one of the best results of the season, to be perfectly honest.
There are draws that sometimes feel like losses. There are draws that feel like draws. This one on Sunday felt like a win, at least to me, especially because I felt, Jason, that Atlanta United really outworked Seattle after they gave up the early goal.
Yeah, it's a really good performance from Atlanta United on the road. The goal, not one they want to repeat. We'll take a look at it here in the highlights because it's on a set piece. The goal that they got, they want to try to find those moments more in matches. Let's go back to the goal Seattle scored first. Joao Paulo, great delivery on the corner. The run from Raul Ruidiaz. He's able to get space away from Brooks Lennon. As he loops back, you see him kind of work back to the penalty spot. Buries the header. Lennon loses the 1v1 duel there. Atlanta falls behind. They didn't really falter at all after falling behind. It came pretty quick for Atlanta to have a lot of opportunities. Great long-range shot for Joseph Martinez. Second half, Jake Mulraney comes into the match, narrowly misses wide. Brooks Lennon on a set piece. Gets the pick that he wanted on the back post to Anton Walks. The header back across doesn't find anybody. George Bello started to get forward more. I'd love to see more of this as we go this year. Joseph Martinez laying it off to Bello on the run. But here's the Atlanta sequence that leads to the goal. Miles Robinson, perfect ball over the top. Brooks Lennon gets in behind Bradley Smith, gets hacked down, easy penalty to call. Here's Lennon getting in behind Smith, but let's look at it from this angle. Lennon is on the touchline. Robinson makes eye contact with him. You see Lennon start the run about a step before the ball's delivered. Perfect delivery from Robinson. Great run from Lennon. It leads to number 7, Joseph Martinez, from the spot. First time since 2019. Looks like he hasn't missed a beat. He gets Stephen Cleveland leaning the wrong way, going the wrong way. Joseph buries it into the other end. Now let's hear a couple of people from after the match in Seattle. First, Gabriel Heinze, then Brad Gazan.
Well, Coach, you said you wanted to talk about the football and style of play. So what did you like about what the team did today, and what do you think needs some improvement before next week's game?
Preciso que quieres hablar más del fútbol, pues que te gustó y que te mejorar para el próximo partido.
Me gustó, sí, por supuesto, me encanta hablar de fútbol y lo invito si quiere hablar de fútbol.
Yes, of course, I love to talk about football and I invite you to talk with me about it.
Lo que me ha gustado es absolutamente toda la construcción que hicimos en campo propio.
Like what I really like is how we build up from the back.
Me ha gustado un montón hasta llevar el balón a zona final.
like how the transition from the first zone to the last zone.
Que esos metros debemos todavía entrenarlo más y tener más situaciones.
There's something we need to keep improving is this final third to create even more chances.
Y también me ha gustado de cuando el rival ha jugado, hemos estado muy cerca del rival.
And also I like when the opponent had the ball, like how close we were close to them.
Y eso es lo que me gusta a mí hablar.
This is what I really like to talk about.
Brad, I don't think you'll disagree with me when I say that I think that the team, it's still, you guys still want to create more chances, have more shots on goal, but, yourself, Gabriel Heinze, your teammates are saying that you play well, and I totally get what you mean when you say that. So is there just like a confidence that if the team keeps playing this way, that eventually those chances and that production in the attack is going to start coming?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of continuing to play like this, continuing to gain confidence, but ultimately we need to be ruthless in the final third. We need to play balls that are maybe 60-40, 70-30 balls into spaces where now you're asking the question of a center back to go and defend outside its box or inside its box, or a fullback that's now got to come and deal with a cross that's been whipped in early. We need to be more ruthless, and we need to have more of a cutting edge to ourselves in terms of being in and around the box. And, it's not for a lack of effort. That is certainly for sure. And so, we continue to believe in what we're doing. We know the work that's going on behind closed doors. I'm sure someone like Doug is going to argue with me on those statistics or whatnot. But listen, you guys don't know the work that's going on behind closed doors, what we're doing day in and day out, what we're trying to accomplish. And so, today is another step in the right direction in a very tough place to come.
All right. Well, I'll tell you, it was good to hear from Brad and Heinze. I also really took a lot out of the post-match comments, though, from Brian Schmetzer and Christian Roldan, Jason. The Seattle side, I think, was very, very respectful of the job that Atlanta United did, really pinning them back. I've heard some people say, Seattle, they kind of stopped playing after scoring with Rui Diaz there early. I don't think it was that. I think Atlanta United really dictated the terms of the match and had a very positive response after giving up the early goal in the set piece.
I think that's why you heard the tone in Gabriel Heinze's voice. I felt the same way after the match. I was jacked up after this because not just with getting the late goal to get a result, but the way Atlanta approached the game and the way they took the game to the best team in the league so far. It was Atlanta dictating the way this game played out. Now, Seattle's very good defensively, and they made it difficult for Atlanta's control of the game to turn into a number of big chances. That's a sign of a good team in the Seattle Sounders. But the way Atlanta played should give you a lot of optimism for what can happen. And Brad Kazan's comments as well. He's seeing it from a different perspective with the way this team is working in the attack. He's involved more in that work maybe than he's ever been in his career, because we see how many times Brad Kazan has the ball at his feet, has to step up and start attacks, and he's been very important in this. But the amount of work this team is putting in is showing in these last 2 weeks, because it took a while, but against Montreal, you get a stoppage time winner. Against Seattle, you get a late winner where there was a lot of energy, a lot of hard work put into getting those results. That gives this team the confidence that if you go into a game with Nashville and it takes a while because they park the bus or they sit back deep or they play 8 behind the ball, they're not going to get impatient after what we've seen in these last 2 weeks, because they know how hard they're working and they know what it can lead to. I think these are 2 really big back-to-back weeks for Atlanta United that can spark more down the road.
It is interesting, though, how late goals have suddenly become a thing for Atlanta United this year. Alajuelense, Chicago, Montreal, obviously, and then Seattle. But Atlanta United does not get the point out of Seattle if not for the play of Franco Ibarra. He was our man of the match on the radio broadcast on Sunday. The numbers for Ibarra, especially when you look at like duels won, ground duels won, interceptions, things like that, Ibarra was so solid. I think his best match in his still relatively young Atlanta United career.
Yeah, I totally agree. Franco Ibarra with 6 tackles, 1, 4 interceptions, 1 in this match. Those are absurd numbers for a player to have in any professional league, let alone in a league like MLS. This is a guy who broke in at Argentinos Juniors during the COVID season, the cup competition that they did, a short cup competition, the Copa Diego Armando Maradona in Argentina, where he played 10 times for Argentinos. He had only played 1 game prior to that for the first team at the club that he developed at. In that series of games, in a short cup competition, in a league as world-renowned as Argentina, Franco Ibarra, as a teenager, led the league in tackles won. We saw that player emerge in Seattle, I think for the first time during his time here in Atlanta. He played with confidence. He was good on the ball as well. It's easy with Ibarra to focus on what he does from a defensive standpoint, winning the ball back, winning tackles. But he was good on the ball to the point that it gave the team another wrinkle where you could see Santiago Sosa continue to move forward. If the game took him forward, he was able to go because they were comfortable with Ibarra dropping in between the center backs, helping defend against Seattle's 2 forwards. That's a look that would not surprise me at all to see play out again against Nashville, because it becomes harder for the opposition to deal with Sosa, who's the focal point of the team in building possession, if he could move more because of the emergence of Ibarra. Ibarra was great in Seattle, and I hope he can continue to give those kinds of performances for this team going forward.
Yeah, I hope so too. So the first team gets a late draw at Seattle. Huge point for them. And Atlanta United, too, is coming up with some late goals. They've had a good week. They're in a great run of form right now. And on Sunday, as we check in from the Proving Ground, they got a really intense 2-2 draw against Memphis.
Yeah, Atlanta United, too, coming off of a huge week. You go into this game on the weekend with Memphis, and, where would the energy be? Because it was a lot of minutes, and it kind of was up and down because it was a hot day on Sunday against Memphis at the Proving Ground. But Aiden McFadden got it started with a free kick to get another goal for the week, his 3rd of the week at the time. But Memphis is a team that has maybe gotten a late start in the USL Championship with putting this roster together, a lot of new faces. They fought in this match, and they equalized, then found a way to go ahead. Memphis 901 getting this break. It kind of bounces around. They end up finding it and getting the second goal to go up 2-1. Our old friend Laurent Kisiadou was heavily involved in this, and he gets the goal for Memphis. But Atlanta United, too, didn't quit. This stuff becomes contagious within a club, and it's Aiden McFadden. Again, just instinct, just total instinct to pop that back in. Doesn't try to blast it, doesn't try to hit a full shot here. Look at the touch. Just a little jab at it to knock it in. Get the goal. It goes to 2-2. Atlanta United 2 has to see it out with one more opportunity from Memphis late. They get it done, and it's another result for the Twos. We know how difficult results can be for a second team because they don't have a consistent roster game to game. There were a lot of new faces on the game day sheet on Sunday. But you start to see things become building blocks for an organization. The academy teams will feed off of the first team getting late wins. The Twos, obviously, fed off of the first team getting results late here lately. Aiden McFadden gets it done for them to get another result, a 2-2 draw against Memphis.
And Aiden McFadden, scoring 4 goals in the last week, was named USL Championship Player of the Week on Tuesday. And when he was so honored earlier this week, Jason and I had an opportunity to visit with him. Aiden, what a week. 4 goals. Have you ever scored 4 goals in a week in your life?
Probably, but it would have to have been when I was just a kid, like pee-wee soccer, running around with a jersey down to my knees. So nothing like that since then. But yeah, I've just been having fun with it. Really happy to be here in Atlanta.
How's the transition been for you going from a college program and a weird season in the spring to coming straight into a professional environment?
I was really grateful to be able to get those games in the spring. And then, yeah, it was like final whistle blow on senior night, and kind of made the decision that I was definitely going to go with it, kind of chase the dream to play professionally. And man, it was a quick turnaround right away, hopping into games. But I mean, that's what I love to do. I'm just really happy to have the opportunity and to keep playing. So I'm really just happy to be here.
You've been a big part of this run that the Twos are on right now. And after a very difficult opening week assignment at Louisville, it feels like things are really starting to connect now for the Twos. What do you think has been kind of the major difference from week one to now with the team?
Yeah, as a collective, like just more time together, right? Like that first game, I'd only been here 2 or 3 days really with the team. And I think everyone it's a newer roster mixed with every week, maybe some first team guys. And then the academy here is tremendous. So I think that's the goal really for this season, is just to make some noise. I think we have a lot of talent across the roster. So it's just continuing to put that together. And that's why I've been really excited about opportunities like this to talk to you guys and bring attention to the Twos, because top to bottom, there's a lot of talent on that roster. And yeah, we just want to make some noise and keep this season rolling.
See, I'd love to pick your brain a little bit on your positioning so far, because we've seen you play before coming to Atlanta in attacking roles. Then you slotted in at right back. You get a couple goals against Tulsa from right back, which is always nice. And then you can jump back into the wing. Tell us a little bit for you that transition from playing in a system in college to playing, a variety of roles for Tony Annan and Atlanta United too right now, where one game you might be in the back, next game you might be up front.
Yeah, I'm happy you mentioned that. That's probably been the biggest transition for me. It's just the switch in the systems, the system of play, and how we're trying to play here, and then my role in that. Yeah, I mean, growing up, I was always a 10, found myself at the front of the field. My teammates from back then are probably laughing that I'm a defender now, because I really didn't play defense back in the day. So it's just trying to continue to learn. But, the coaching staff here has been tremendous. They've always seemed to know when to kind of tear into me, when to really let me have it, or when to throw an arm over my shoulder and kind of direct me in that way. So I'm still learning a lot, and I get it wrong a lot as well. But I can see already the growth that I've been having, and I'm just so excited every day to get the opportunity to go back out and train and try and figure it out a bit more.
When you were told by a coach somewhere along the line, hey, we want to take a look at you as a defender from being an attacking midfielder, how did you react to that?
Well, the first time I probably heard that was about a senior in high school. Someone said, hey, we think you'd be a really good right back. I was like, what do you mean? My whole life I've just run out right backs. I'm trying to score. It's weird, thinking of the defensive side of it. But then kind of taking a step back and thinking about it, right back's a pretty cool position. You get more touches on the ball usually, and you can dictate play. And that's something I've always prided myself in, is trying to, connect passes and be involved in the game for as much as the game as possible, and moving kind of to the next team I played for, which was up at Notre Dame. My first chance to really crack onto the field was actually at right back my sophomore year. So I had a bit of experience playing there, but then again, I was pushed back up playing in the midfield or up front. So then when Henry asked, hey, do you have any experience playing right back? I was like, yeah, I do a bit. And that kind of got me in the window at Louisville. They still weren't sure if they were going to go with me. I'd only been here a few days, but I got the opportunity and I was so grateful for it. And I've just been having fun really since. But I definitely get caught out a lot, and it's a good thing I have that back line behind me. Guys like Braz and Josh and the first team guys have been tremendous in organizing with me and keeping me in my spot defensively.
But it's kind of the perfect system for a right back like you, who's maybe learning on the job the defensive side of it. But the idea that Gabriel Heinze has with the first team, and the idea that Tony Annan and Henry have with the second team, is for you guys to bomb forward and be involved in the attack. What was the biggest, maybe eye opener for you about that transition to playing right back at this level that the coaches told you?
Man, it's just like very demanding. I pretty much told them like, yeah, I'm willing to work the whole game, and they're like, okay, well, you're gonna have to do that. So it just run it up and down the field, and like I'm happy to do it, and if my legs can do it, I'll do it. But yeah, I mean it's physically very demanding, just getting up and down, opening up the legs and sprinting back. But again, like I enjoy it, and like you said, it gets me involved up the field. So whenever an attack's happening, I'm more than happy to go join in because there's the opportunity to score, create an assist, or even there's many times I'm just overlapping so that our winger can cut in. So the more I can help the team out, the better, really.
Well, scoring 4 goals in a week is pretty much going to make you a slam dunk to be the USL Championship Player of the Week, as you were so honored, and congratulations for that. They were 4 really great goals because they were all scored differently, and that's one of the things I appreciated. But I have to ask you about the one at the death against Memphis on Sunday to secure the draw. Take me through that from your perspective, how that all evolved, and were you aware that there was such little time remaining in the match?
No, as far as timing, no. It was more, at that time I was actually playing left back, and we were down a guy, but really after it had happened, I just kind of put that out of my mind. I was like, okay, I'm still, playing a game. And I got on the ball and was just driving up the line, trying to maybe make a cross or something. Gano dropped off, so I played it back to him. He put a ball in the box, and then it's like, go get in around the box, and good things tend to happen. I was a bit fortunate that the deflection came my way, but then at that point, I was just thinking, the keeper's on the floor, just try and put it back where it came from, keep it on frame. There's definitely many years of my life where I probably would have put that in the parking lot, just to do it. So I was pleased with myself. But again, that's just, it was a decent build-up. Again, we're down a guy to get a ball into the dangerous area, and then it's just about being there, being in the right spot. So I was happy to be able to capitalize. But again, I think we're a team that creates so many chances every game. So it's been a ton of fun to be a part of that. But I think there's a lot of goals to be had for everybody on this team.
What has the vibe been like in training this week after such a huge week with a come-from-behind draw on the road, a huge win against one of the top teams in the division in the midweek, and then a late equalizer at home on Sunday? What's the vibe been getting ready for this Sunday's match?
Honestly, it's kind of the same as it's been all year. It's just a lot of the guys are really happy. The first thing, everybody shows up in a good mood, ready to go. And then, you have a couple jokes in and about the locker room, and then it's just to training and working hard. So it's the most competitive group I've ever been with, the most talented group I've ever been with, and we all really genuinely enjoy what we're doing. So I couldn't have asked for a better fit. I mean, just really grateful to be a part of it and happy every day that I get to go train.
I can't imagine you have a lot of free time, and I know your transition from arriving in Atlanta to going right into playing was relatively brief. But I'm wondering, how have you enjoyed your time here in Atlanta, and have you found anything that you really like doing in your time off?
Yeah, I mean, first off, I love Atlanta. Like, it's crazy that the draft happens, you have no idea where you're going. And I see I'm coming to Atlanta. I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. I get here, and it's been amazing. Nice weather. I love the heat. I'm very happy every day the sun's out. And then the city itself is awesome. There's so much to do, especially with COVID kind of having everything shut down for a while. The opportunity to go explore the city a bit now and the surrounding neighborhoods has been really cool. So I really couldn't have ended up in a better spot. And then for the atmosphere around the twos and the first team, like probably the best fans in the country. Not probably, they are. It's Mercedes-Benz is something else, and the atmosphere there is crazy. So I'm really happy where I ended up, and I'm looking forward to continuing to play for this organization.
Have you found a favorite restaurant in town yet?
No, not really. I've been trying not to go out to eat too much. I'm just trying to cook a bit. I'm rooming with Connor Stanley on the team from Manchester, so he just got here too. Great player as well. So the two of us have been, trying to figure out the kitchen a bit, cook. But it's been good. Yeah, no complaints.
Is Connor a good cook?
I do most of the cooking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but, he's all right. He's a very good guy, though, and fantastic player. So, yeah, I mean, it's crazy how you just kind of get a roommate. I needed one. They're like, hey, we have a guy coming from Manchester, and worked out. So that's been cool. But, again, everybody on this team is just really, really good people.
Well, we're really enjoying watching you play, and tell Connor too. I've really enjoyed watching him play. He's phenomenal. A lot of home matches still to come for the twos, and keep up the great work, Aiden. That's one heck of a week to have 4 goals, and we look forward to continuing to watch you play the rest of the season.
Well, thank you, and thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm a fan of Connor Stanley too. So whatever Aiden and Connor kind of have going there, and whoever's doing the cooking, they're doing a great job, because Connor Stanley's another one of those twos players that I'm really enjoying watching right now. They are also going to be at home on Sunday, Jason. So not only does the first team play at home on Saturday, but Birmingham Legion, with some familiar faces on that side, will come in on Sunday to the Fraction.
Yeah, it's been hot lately as well. Sunday's supposed to be beautiful weather in Kennesaw, somewhere between 75 and 80 degrees. You want to come see some live soccer again after going to the Bends on Saturday? Come out to the Fraction on Sunday. And I'd expect there will be a number of first-team players involved, guys who don't get a lot of minutes or don't get any minutes on Saturday night. Very easy trip up to Kennesaw to play on Sunday against Birmingham.
Yeah, it's a good point, because the first team players are not traveling. They are at home, just as is the second team. Okay, let's take a look around the league. It was another eventful week this past weekend, week 6 in Major League Soccer. Here were the results. And, I'll tell you, we'll get into Nashville in a little bit. That's a solid 1-0 win. It looked like Austin may have equalized, and then VAR got involved. Kansas City, another solid win for them. New England still top of table in the East. We'll get into the highlights, but in general, as we look at this graphic here, Zellerian obviously with 2 big direct free kick goals to beat New York City. What stands out the most to you on that list?
Kansas City's win in San Jose. I thought it was the most impressive performance of the week, because we know how difficult the Quakes can be to play against. And San Jose went out there, gave up the first goal, took control, and dominated that the rest of the way. Some of the other big results from the weekend had, mitigating circumstances here. You had red cards with the Red Bulls against the Revs. Andres Reyes gets a goal and then gets sent off all in the first half. The big Portland win over the LA Galaxy, a first half red card as well there. So Kansas City, for me, was the most impressive overall performance. Lucas Zellerian and his 2 free kicks to bring Columbus back against NYC was one of the better individual performances from the week.
Speaking of red cards, let's get started with the highlights, and we'll start in Portland. Poor Andy Polo on the receiving end of this nasty challenge.
Yeah, Polo's out for the rest of the year now, not just with knee issues, but quad issues as well. And you see Williams come in here very high with the left leg. It's a red card anywhere in the world, and hopefully Andy Polo is able to recover and get back to full form. Lucas Zellerian, this first free kick is just a bomb. I think he hits it as hard as he possibly can. It knuckles a little bit away from Sean Johnson. No chance to save. Then he gets another one in stoppage time, and he buries it. It's a perfect. I mean, and they're very different free kicks. This one is more about touch. This one goes over the top of the wall, curls, and dips all at once. Sean Johnson has a beat on it. He just can't get there. Zellerian single-handedly gets the win for Columbus. Dallas and RSL, this is just a nasty weather as it went on, but Dallas was able to find a goal late, and you think the home team is going to get the win here. It takes a deflection. They get the lead, but RSL almost immediately responds through Damir Kreilach. Another deflected ball played in. It kind of pops up. Kreilach stays with it. He puts it home. New England, we mentioned it. Red Bulls took the early lead. Reyes then got sent off, and the Revs opened it up. Gustavo Bo, what a delivery to Gustavo Bo, who's able to walk that one in. New England's a good team. You can't give them any advantages. You can't give them any opportunities to play 11v10. They are going to break it down. Taijon Buchanan, look at this individual goal right here. He's able to get the defender leaning, takes it to the end line, no angle, and he somehow still gets the goal. Now, Kansas City was my team of the week. Let's look at maybe a little bit of how. Great chip to the back post. Really calm finish here under pressure. First touch, perfect. Goalkeeper coming, slots it home. But it turned into the Alan Pulido show, and Daniel Shallowy also has been very good in recent weeks. That's a brilliant finish from him. But the assist from Pulido, he had a goal as well. As Pulido's heating up, he's trying to earn minutes for Mexico in the upcoming CONCACAF matches. Alan Pulido's a player to watch. Here's the winner for Nashville. Yonder Cadiz drifting out wide, picks out Randall Leal on the backside. It's not a great finish from Leal. It's good enough, and Leal is able to give Nashville the 1-0 win over Austin.
You know what's interesting as we look at the fixtures for this week, Zelarayan, by the way, the first MLS player to score 2 goals off direct free kicks in the same game since Kevin Kratz back in 2018 against Montreal. So here are the fixtures for this week. And, of course, Atlanta United will be one of the early fixtures on Saturday. What stands out to you here? RSL seems to be a very unpredictable team this year. They're playing the equally unpredictable Loons. SKC has Houston coming in. There could be a lot of goals in that one. And the Cali Classico, I know that's one that always tends to stand out to fans on the West Coast, the Galaxy and the Quakes.
That should be a really fun one. I usually try to pick an under-the-radar, like, hipster game of the week, and I seem to always jinx it because it turns into a horrible game. I'm going to give it a shot, though. My hipster game of the week that could be a sneaky good one is Miami and D.C. Saturday night. Because we know DC wants to open the game up. We know that they want to play a wide-open style. I think in a wide-open style with Miami's individual talent, they might be able to really pick DC apart. But if DC is able to dictate the pace, I don't know if Miami can run with them. So I think there's some interesting components that go into that. Styles make fights. I think these are two teams that approach the game very differently. That's my hipster game of the week. I think it's going to be sneaky good, Miami and DC.
Okay, I have an upset special.
Oh, okay, even better.
Which, by the way, does not count as a prediction, okay? So Ryan, who's our producer, don't think this is a prediction. Just gut feeling. I think Red Bulls are going to beat Orlando this week. Nani is still out. They're going up to Red Bull Arena. I think Orlando's been playing with fire the last couple weeks. I think Red Bulls get them this week.
I went draw on that. I think it'll be a tough one, but I could see the Red Bulls sneaking a win there. They've been a little down in the last couple games. I want to see what they do defensively, replacing Reyes for this one. But yeah, Orlando hasn't been all that convincing, and without Nani, they've been much less convincing. So I could see that. I could see that one.
Doesn't count as a prediction, though.
Not official.
So don't put it on my permanent record. It's just an observation. Okay, Nashville. They've gone 403 minutes without conceding. They've been very, very impressive. 2-0-4, so they're unbeaten so far this year. This is only their second road match of the season, by the way. They've played a ton of home matches to begin the year. So this is only their second road match. They had a draw in the first one. The 2020 Defender of the Year in MLS was Walker Zimmerman of Lawrenceville, Georgia, Jason. And Zimmerman is kind of a two-pronged issue for Atlanta United, not only with his defending, but also his ability to score off set pieces.
Yeah, his ability to just step forward with the ball as well. He's so good on the ball. He doesn't get enough credit for that. He can be a matchup issue. And what we've seen Nashville do a fair bit is in those moments in a match where he can step forward, he becomes an extra forward. He becomes an extra center forward. Late in games where they're chasing it, they'll throw him up top. They'll just throw him up top, and he becomes an auxiliary forward. But defensively, we know how good he is. He's a player who, in my opinion, needs a better look, a longer look from Greg Berhalter with the U.S. men's national team. It was a brilliant acquisition to get Walker Zimmerman for Gary Smith and for this Nashville side in year one. And we're seeing him anchor a backline that is as good as you're going to find in Major League Soccer, with Zimmerman being the headliner, but guys like Alistair Johnston, who they got in the draft and converted him to a right back, Dave Romney, who's just consistently one of the more underrated players in this league, and Daniel Lovitz is a good defender, but a guy who can get forward and serve up good deliveries for this attacking group. That back four doesn't have the star power that maybe some others do, but you're not going to find many better ones in this league. And to have Joe Willis, another one for the all-underrated team, in goal, that's a team that can shut down any attack in this league.
And I don't know if you could say Dax McCarty would ever be underrated because he's a legend of American soccer, 34 years old now. But I think McCarty is part of that group as well. Really, really good midfielder.
Hey, Anibal Godoy as well. And that was a move that a lot of people panned in this league, that, oh, they gave up too much allocation money to get Anibal Godoy. That back six plus Joe Willis, that gives Nashville the ability to do so many different things in the rest of the lineup. And we've seen Gary Smith really settle on a 4-4-2 here lately. It frees up Randall Leal and Alex Muil, who's won the spot on the other side, to come inside and make it look like a 4-2-2-2 at times, to stay wide, to switch sides wide. They know that they can take their chances to get forward because they've got such a good six guys behind him. You know, Muil can go, but we know Muil will track back. He loves to defend. Randall Leal, a much better defender than he gets credit for. We've seen this team kind of emerge into this right now, this 4-4-2, as they've struggled to get an attack going as well this year. CJ Sapong has come into the lineup. He gives them the outlet. He can play the knockdown game, that target forward, bring Leal, bring Muil, bring Jonder Cadiz, all into the game through direct play because they're so good defensively, they just don't give up many chances.
And look, we've been talking a lot about this week, and this kind of goes into our predictions because it doesn't feel like there are going to be a lot of goals scored in this match. Nashville is very committed to defending, but that does not mean that they're unambitious. I think we've had some teams come into Mercedes-Benz Stadium over the years. I'm not going to name names. One maybe from the Rocky Mountain states that tends to maybe not play with a lot of ambition, just a real commitment to put 10 players behind the ball and duck and cover. It's not going to be like that with Nashville, right?
No, I don't think so. They have ways to get out. Leal and Muil, we've already mentioned. They've got the long ball to Sapong. But also Lovitz and Johnston can get forward. I think what Nashville's shown is at home, they've been more expansive. On the road, they've been more secure, but they do have it in them to press up high when the game calls for it. They have it in them to have overlapping runs from the outside backs. Lovitz is one of the best at creating chances in the league this year. Johnston can do things in the final third as a converted defender. When they're able to get into the attacking half and play in that half for a period of time, they're dangerous. What we're seeing on the road, though, is they don't like to risk too much to get there. And that's what I'm expecting this weekend. But Atlanta can't fall asleep defensively. The transitions from offense to defense have to be strong, especially when it comes to Leal and Muil getting forward and doing it in some maybe non-traditional ways. They'll both come inside and create kind of a box for Atlanta to deal with. So Atlanta, when they lose possession, they have to be switched on to immediately turn to defend because Nashville's not just a defensive team.
So that takes us into our predictions. Remember, we don't really predict the match outcome. We predict certain things that might happen inside the match. This is the 7th week of the AT&T countdown to kickoff. In the previous 6, I think I've gotten one correct prediction. I really think 1.5 because I'm going to say that Barco against Chicago was kind of off a direct free kick, even though it wasn't, but it was. It really wasn't.
It wasn't.
It's. Yeah, those darn rebounds and caroms. Shoot. So anyhow, I'm only 1 for 6. So don't take this prediction at face value. In fact, the opposite will probably happen. I predict no goals will be scored in open play during this. Now listen, that doesn't mean no goals will be scored because I think both teams can be very, very good on set pieces. I just think it's going to be very, very difficult to break through those 2 lines of 4 for Atlanta United and generate a lot of quality scoring chances in open play. I feel like if Atlanta United is going to score and score a couple times maybe in this match, might have to be off a corner, might have to be some other form of a set piece. Don't discount the fact, too, that Heinze has had 5 full days on the training ground with these guys, and maybe they are able to install something off a set piece that we haven't seen before. But I predict no goals in open play on Saturday.
I'm going to halfway go the other direction. I think Atlanta United will have a lot of opportunities to create goals from the run of play because my prediction is that they will have at least 70% of the possession. I think some of that's down to the way Nashville plays, but Atlanta wants the ball anyway, and they'll gladly take it. They're going to have the opportunities to pick those passes. And we know Ezequiel Barco is back available for this match. We don't know what his availability is, but he is listed as questionable. Gabriel Heinze spoke to the media this week and said that he'd be available. Even 10, 15 minutes of Ezequiel Barco, if that's all he's available for, with that much of the ball, he could be that X factor late in the match, being able to pick out a pass. And look, another player that we've seen be that X factor is Jake Mulraney. Jake Mulraney coming off the bench, running against tired legs, he's picked out passes. He's created opportunities. That 70% of possession can be very important because it can wear down Nashville and late game subs. And you've got a couple, it sounds like, potentially, that could be impact subs in Mulraney and maybe Barco. If those guys can come in after wearing Nashville down, making them defend, maybe that's where the game turns. Late again, but using that 70+% possession to do it.
I have a feeling the roof will probably be open Saturday at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but if it's not and there's another late winner, the roof will probably open on its
It'll
own.
need
and
to.
That's where you, the 17s, come in. And I'm serious. The role that the fans had in propelling Atlanta United to that game winner a couple weeks ago against Montreal was a real thing. And here we are again with full capacity in the soccer configuration Saturday at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It really is very important for you to be loud and invested for 90 minutes because that is going to be a factor. And I think it can be a real factor for Nashville because, again, they have not played a lot on the road this year. This is Nashville is probably looking at this fixture in the same way that we were looking here in Atlanta at the Seattle fixture, having to go up to Seattle, play against a really good team that defends very well in their building. Nashville probably feels about it in a similar way. So the fans are going to have a big impact on this match on Saturday.
Huge opportunity for the 17s to make a lot of noise and give this team a lift to go into this international break on a high. Get a win against Montreal, go to Seattle, and get a great result in that draw with Joseph Martinez getting on the board. Come back home and finish this little run strong with a win. That's a great way to go into an international break where Gabriel Heinze will be able to build on everything that he's been able to do with this team up to this point and get them ready for a very busy late June and beyond. Pick up another 3 points here. It gives Atlanta a great opportunity to be positioned in the right spot going forward.
All right. Well, we will be back soon with another edition of the AT&T Countdown to Kickoff. As Jason said, after Saturday, it'll be a couple weeks off for Atlanta United, and then they will resume play at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in late June against Philadelphia Union. And there might be some lingering memories from the last time those two teams interacted a couple weeks ago. We'll have a preview of that coming up soon. But thank you for joining us for another edition of the AT&T Countdown to Kickoff.